Oh, there went a light. We lost the light.
Scared me.
It's funny that my side goes out. It's almost like I don't know what that means. Maybe it means I'm gonna die first in life.
Well, that's
and
possible.
then how funny that'd be if that one went. I'm like, oh, you're not too far behind. Who
I don't
knows?
know. It might be
Maybe
a granny situation.
Maybe we can go Notebook style, holding hands would be nice. Just be done. Welcome back to another edition of Real Talk After Dark, where we keep it real about life and film. And tonight we are going to keep it very real about life and film, because it's going to be a little romanticism, even though it's a little past, Valentine's Day and stuff. But we're celebrating meeting and celebrating friendship of 8 years for March 1st. And then in April, we spent a month and a half as friends. And then April 16th, I asked her to be my girlfriend. And then October holds a special place in our heart, too, because not only do we love Halloween and spooky season, but is also I proposed to her on Halloween, and then we got married on the month of October.
In a haunted house, I might add.
In a haunted house, which is all up on RBG Studios vlogs on YouTube. You can check all that out. We also got our love story on there that we did a hot minute ago. That was back when we were like hitting like our 5 years or something.
I think
even 4 or 5. It was right before Dutch was born, I think.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So we did a little relationship thingy, which is only like 8 to 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a little bit more in-depth and intimate as we talk about just romance movies and comedy movies and just stuff like that. Because I mean, there's a wide variety. I mean, you can go as far as you want to get serious with The Notebook, or you can go comedy route with The Wedding Singer. I mean, you can go any way you want here. So it's going to be a little fun tonight. I don't know if anybody wants to listen, but here we go. We're on board. So where do we start?
I don't know. Where do you think that we should start?
March 1st, 2017.
Well, that was when we met at Books A Million.
We had started talking for a little bit. We met on OkCupid. Our personalities and our profiles matched, and we just connected immediately, and we wanted to meet in person. Yep. And we met at Books A Million, and we spent like an hour and a half in the store.
Yeah, it was close to almost 2 hours.
Just walking around, getting to know each other.
He didn't realize what kind of nerd I was. Because I know about a lot, but as we were going through the store, I would just kind of make little comments here and there and point out cool things. And he was like, I don't know.
There's a little part of me that's like, is she just putting on a front? Because I'm just like, because I was nerding out on some cool stuff. I saw some figures, some magazine covers, stuff like that. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And she's like, oh yeah, I like that. And I'm just like, okay.
Right. Well, and just to, because I mean, this is real talk. We were only supposed to be friends with benefits.
After dark. If you never knew, you know now it's out there. There's only a few people that we've told.
After we left Books A Million, like it was like, all right, let's go get this out of the way. And so we go back to my house, because I mean, unbeknownst to him at the time, I'd already informed my aunt who lived below me that I was going to have company, and to be kind of listening out if I need for anything. I said I would hit really hard on the floor.
Yeah, people are surprised by now. I mean, we have a kid. We have a 5-year-old. So.
Yeah. I mean, but anyways, just in case Ryan was a serial killer, I had to make sure everybody knew, and I sent his picture off to my best friend at the time and everything. Man, so
if I was, that would have been my stopping point. That would have been it for me.
I'm thorough. I'm the FBI.
I had no idea how thorough until we had actually gotten into a relationship, or when we were comfortable with each other. I don't remember how far along, but eventually she had told me, and I was like, dang, you had your grounds covered. I said nobody knew.
If I was going out, you were coming with me.
Knew. So if she was a serial killer, I would have been up missing, because she knows.
And I would have just had help to hide the body.
Yeah, I mean, don't come at us, FBI or anybody or popos. We just.
But anyways, to continue on with the story, because we're going off on a tangent. He stepped into, which we do all the time, but we stepped into my room, and and at the time, I had if people, because I think it's still a thing, Loot Crate. I think I only did it for about a year. But I had all of my collectibles out. I've been to conventions, so I had my art that I've bought from conventions hanging up, and I mean it was anything from Lord of the Rings to Avengers and so on. And this man literally, like, we went there on a mission, and this man literally steps into my room because he's all slick at first. He goes, "You ready to go?" So he opens the door and he pauses and he's just literally does one of these. And it's like, oh, we're talking about everything.
Yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot there. I mean, she had a cool Halloween pin. I had the original cover with the pumpkin and the knife, like it was like a pin. She also had like a Ninja Turtle pin, Ninja Turtle cup, like all this. And I was just like, I said, this is mine. So, I mean, basically, in the long run,
a lot of these collectibles, I don't know how much you guys can see. A lot of them are shared, but
yeah, I mean, hers is mine, and mine is hers, right? That's how it works.
Yep. That's how it goes.
But yeah, I saw a lot of that stuff, and I mean, little does she know, real talk, that I only got with her and married her so that way that stuff. Because I told her, I said, I'm gonna steal this. It's gonna be mine one day, and that's what happened. I made it work. Now it's mine. Now it's mine. No, I'm just kidding. I fell in love with this woman, and it was maybe a month in or so, or I don't know how far along. I don't remember. It's been so long now, but. Yeah, I remember I quit drinking soda and alcohol around the time I met her, so to make me feel more comfortable in her home, she quit drinking soda and having alcohol in her home and just had like juice and water and stuff for me, which was very kind of her. She didn't have to, and just for me to feel more comfortable, I was like, you could have kept having your stuff and you know, whatever, but she did that out of kindness of her heart, and you know, that was even maybe a little hint of love and her. Through her that she wasn't ready to express or say yet without knowing at the time. And I mean, it just because of all that and the time we spent together, there was at one point she went and got me a drink and brought it back to me, and like literally it was like out of nowhere, I'm just like, and that's why I love you. And then as I'm in the middle of my sip, I stopped because I'm like, oh boy, what did I just say? Like, we're supposed to just be friends, and if we started feeling certain ways towards each other, we'd talk about it. We were very open and communicative with each other about that beforehand, and still are very open. But it's just, yeah, it was. I was like, oh snap! I was right. I mean, in my mind, I'm like thinking like she's gonna ask me to leave, and I'm just like, yep, I'm gonna leave. You know what I mean? But
well, it's because I'd put like specifically, I was not down with a relationship. Yeah, I did not want one. I was actually, whenever I met Ryan, when I met you, I had actually had decided to just be whatever I wanted and do whatever I wanted.
Yeah, we both had the same mindset where we were like, if we couldn't find like the one buyer before 30, we were both just gonna be done. And I was just turned 28 and she was 27 turning 28 that year, so we were pretty close. We were
very close. And then I mean, it just spiraled into something, because actually what brought us together was our mutual love for Walking Dead. I had taken a break because for fans of the show, it was right after Glenn's tragic passing, which I knew was coming. I knew it was coming.
Yeah,
I knew somebody was going to die there. But they mix up deaths all the time. Like Denise got oh my God, I'm having brain farts on the names.
You got
Abraham's kill.
Yeah, to be honest with you, it's like, I mean, like if you deviate a little bit here and there, but I don't think they needed to shock us with the 2 death, because it was like, because we got Abraham, we're like, whew,
devastated.
We're like, okay, Glenn's off the hook. Then they went off the comic route because he only kills one person, and then because Daryl got a little angry and upset. I understand his emotions were running high, and he jumped the gun and clocked Negan real good, but that was worth Glenn's life, unfortunately. Well, not to us or to them, but
I was gonna say I took a massive break from the show. It was actually Ryan convinced me. He goes,
I'm like, it got
trust
good.
me, it gets better. You're gonna like it.
We were getting real close to the mid-season finale of 7, and not the mid-season, but the season finale, because the mid-season had just started a couple weeks before we had met, 2 or 3 weeks, so it was already like halfway point, nearing. And so I was like, hey, the season finale is coming up. Let's get you caught up, and then we can watch the finale together. And she was like, oh, I don't know. It took a little convincing, but she finally did it. Yeah. And I was like, we can even skip episode 1. You do not have to rewatch it. Like, you don't need that. You don't need that.
I made pancakes.
Yeah, we started 2. She made some pancakes because you had that moment at the end of season 6 on the way to Negan's camp where they got surrounded, where he's all like, Abraham's like to Glenn, yeah, when you was mixing the Bisquick, he was trying to make pancakes. So of course, for the special occasion, returning and stuff, she had to make pancakes.
I did,
which was awesome, which were very good. She makes great pancakes. She's a great cook. But yeah, no, that's what our love and our mutual bond for Walking Dead brought us together. And then it went from there. And then next thing you know, a couple years go by.
My family were surprised to see him.
Yeah, I kept coming around for the holidays. But it wasn't even, I don't even think we were dating for like 7 or 8 months, but her and her sister were living together at the time, and they their lease was coming up, and they were deciding like if they move in, with their friend, or if she moves in with me or whatever. And we both felt pretty comfortable in our relationship, and she felt comfortable with me, so we moved in together.
Right. And to be honest, I was spending more time with you at your mom's than at the apartment. So it was just the best next logical step.
Yeah, so we were there for like maybe a couple years, and then we moved out to Jefferson City together, and then that's where we conceived Dutch.
Yep.
And
little turkey monster.
Which is crazy to think that he's 5 years old now. But yeah, that's where we had him and dealt with we literally found the night we found out we were pregnant because her period, she hadn't had it yet, and it was like a few weeks off or whatever, and she was like, okay, I'm gonna go a couple more days or whatever, and if nothing, then I'm gonna take the test. Yep. So we took it, and I remember that night just waiting. It was like the longest 2 or 3 minute wait ever.
The longest.
And we found out, and it was like a whole wave of emotions.
There were so many emotions.
I mean, of course we were excited, but there was just like nervousness because we're the first time parents. Like, what are we gonna do, this and that? And then of course the next night on the top of that, we had a tornado come right through our complex, so
and destroy it. And we were without an apartment for like 3 weeks. We had to live in a hotel.
Yeah. And hotels are fine when you're visiting places, but man, when you're living in and out of it for 3 weeks, fast food all the time because you can't cook.
You can't cook.
Thankfully, we right after the tornado, we went home for the weekend. I mean, you still had to come back and work and everything, but they worked with you on letting us. When they finally opened the apartment complex up to come get some of like the important stuff, your work was really cool with you to let you like have some time off, and they were very cool with you, man. Like the hospital you was working at was
it was
the only thing that sucked was your hours, but
I hated the hours. That's honestly what ended
midnight.
That was honestly what drove me to I just didn't want to do that anymore. I hated that shift whenever I had to work that crap at hit and run.
Yeah. I only say that I liked it because I was a night owl. Dutch it's hard for me to be up super late anymore. I get super tired quick anymore. But and that's all because of the turkey monster. I had to get used to his schedule, and of course his school schedule the last couple of years. But yeah, so I only enjoyed it and got benefit out of it because I was a night owl anyway. So the fact that like she, and Dutch kind of got on that schedule for a little bit, unfortunately, where he would be up for a couple hours after she got home, but it was nice for them to spend extra time together. But then because she didn't have to go in later, she wasn't up at like 7 or 8 in the morning, or Dutch wasn't either. Like they'd sleep until like 10 or 11.
Yeah, we'd be asleep until about 10.
That allowed me to like actually like stay up to like maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5, get some work done. I could actually get a little bit of sleep because even if you guys woke up, you'd let me sleep till like maybe noon, 12:30.
Whenever I have to start getting ready for work.
Yeah, so I mean, it all worked out for me in a sense, but not trying to sound.
And I knew once he got to be in the school age, I would need to change my hours because there's no way I'd survive the day.
Yeah, I enjoyed having a whole room and studio space to myself for like a whole year in Jeff City.
Yeah, maybe.
Actually, not even that because, because we moved in March. But we found out that we was pregnant in May. So I had 2 months, and then I had the 9 months, and then even while he was growing up, like. I kind of shared my studio space with him, but I still had that for an extra year in a sense. And then we moved to Woodlander and then the other apartment complex because we thought it was gonna be bigger. We were kind of duped into it.
She duped us.
We got duped hard, man. We literally were like, it was just probably because if you get people in there, you probably get an extra sell or bonus or something like that.
We think that we were just her bonus.
Yeah, we couldn't get in to see it.
It was
the
smaller.
pictures, they took it with a wide angle, and I should have known better being a filmmaker. that they shot that to look a little bigger because it looked much bigger than it was. And we didn't find out till we walked in, and Sarah was in there first. And I remember walking around that corner holding a tote, and she was just standing there dead face. And I was like, oh, I said, oh, okay. And then I looked back at her, and then we both were just like, so it's not what we were expecting.
It was pretty, honestly, that place was like the ending of Jefferson City for us. I was ready to come home. Yeah, COVID. There were just so many different things. Yeah. And I mean, Dutch was starting to get bigger, and it was just too much to stay out
the
there.
one that got us in there was trying so hard to get us to sign digitally and not be there in person because I don't think she wanted to be chewed out.
She knew what she did.
I think we were already had the stress of packing everything in that we were already just like, we don't want to. We just didn't want to start nothing.
We just accepted it because I mean, there's nothing that we could do at that point.
We were done. We're moving in.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
yeah, but and then when we moved there, I basically just had to share my studio space with the living room because it was like a giant like studio space kind of. So it was like half living room, half.
Well, you kind of get your own space now.
Yeah, no, I enjoy it. I definitely enjoy it. I can't wait till we get a little bit more done.
Yeah. Or
actually get a studio space up and running one day. You know what I mean? We got to work with what we got to work with. But here we are, 8 years in, got a 5-year-old. Moved back from Jefferson City, which was a fun adventure while it lasted.
Yes. It will always hold a very special moment in our hearts. Because I mean, you proposed to me out there too.
Yeah.
One of our friends makes a haunted house every year with his family.
Yep, Shop Parade.
And they had tried to deck it out like because one of my favorite movies is Repo the Genetic Opera. If you are a fan of musicals,
she got me into that one.
Or you're very welcome. And you like the horror concept. It's a fantastic story. It is definitely not a Hollywood movie, so don't go in expecting like big things or anything. It is so wonderful. Repo the Genetic Opera. But they had decorated everything with guts and stuff, and it was so awesome. And then he proposed to me at the end of it with a severed foot hanging right between us.
Yeah. I don't even think I was paying attention to our surroundings. I just wanted to get into an open space where I knew the camera was and all that stuff.
And it was so like, I like at first I wasn't thinking nothing of it because we're just in the final room. I'm checking everything out, and then finally I'm to the point where I'm like, we've hung out in here a little too long, and Ryan's just nervous as fuck. Yeah. So I'm like, something's happening.
You can see it all in the
something is going on.
Yep. It was nerve-wracking.
I could tell. Sure. Well, because he always says this. Actually, because we wrote our own vows too, so he knew he had to write his down because he wanted to have. He had this whole speech planned out, and all he could say was, "I love you, I love you."
Yeah.
I mean, it was
how I got through my vows the way I did.
You did fantastic. I was honestly surprised. I was expecting you because you usually like repeat the same sentence just over and over. That or like bust out a piece of paper because I busted out a piece of paper. I read off of mine.
I was practicing. I was practicing before showering, getting ready, all that stuff. I was trying to nail the night before, all that stuff. Man, I was trying to get it in there so that way all I had to do was be all like, "Yo, this is how I feel about you." Mic drop, you know.
Yeah, our wedding was so much fun too.
It was.
I think back to that day and it was just so much fun. I mean, the reception was a blur because I mean, we were just pulled all over the place. I don't think I got to spend more than 10 minutes with one person.
Yeah.
It's just
we didn't eat super well that night except for like dessert.
No. Well, and what still makes me mad.
I told you more burgers.
I knew it. But everybody was like, "Oh, if you get White Castle burgers," because I love White Castle. I love White Castle. It is one of my favorite meals, and actually Dutch is a big fan of White Castle too.
We just didn't think that I guess people was going to be all up in the White Castle.
Well, because everybody was saying that was going to be such a weird thing to have, and da 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 da. So I did not get a big case because I was like, I'll be lucky if half of it gets 8. You know, I got 1.
Yeah, I don't know if I got any. If I did, I got 1. Yeah. And
it was literally somebody was like, "Hey, Sarah, have you had any of the White Castle yet?" And I was like, "No."
And then they were like,
"Oh, it's all gone. This is the last one." Somebody actually gave me their burger because I had.
How many did you have, huh?
Because I didn't have, I
That
hadn't
person
had
probably
one.
just scrunched like 5 of them too. And
Maybe,
oh, here
but
you
I mean,
go.
well, and now I wish I could remember who it was that even gave it to me, because they were like, they just like handed it over. They were like, oh, here, it was so nice. Gosh, that whole day was just such a blur. I only got the one bite of our cake. I didn't even get to eat our cake. It was so busy.
Yeah, it was fun though.
It was so much fun. It was basically a giant Halloween party.
It was Beetlejuice themed.
It was Beetlejuice themed. It was so beautiful. We also have that vlog up there.
Yeah.
It was so beautiful. I don't think your family liked it much, except for your mom and your brother.
Oh man, there's all over it. It's telling us how much they loved it. It was like, oh man, this is so cool. And it's like, you get married, if you can get married one time to the person you love, why not have a little fun with it?
It's your wedding.
Yeah, we didn't want a super traditional.
And
we wanted a little
kept
tradition
some
mixed with our own.
Yes.
Make it our own style. We wanted to have fun with it. Something we both agreed on. Yes. I was like, how much fun would that be? Because I mean, everybody's always black and white dress, and black and white. So we had a little color in ours. Man, we had some red and some black and some white and some green and some purple. Yes. We had it all.
And I walked down to the Jurassic Park theme music. Yeah. It was beautiful. It was a piano.
But it was more of a piano one.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
It was more beautiful. Yeah. I just think everybody else was expecting like that.
No, I think we picked something elegant. I think that it was subtle enough for those who didn't know it, wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
They would just know it wasn't the traditional bride theme. Yeah. But fans of the song would be like, wait a minute. Because Jurassic Park is one of my favorites. What is you laughing so hard?
Just doing that theme got me thinking of the movie Just Married with Ashton Kutcher and oh shoot, what's her name? I feel so Brittany Murphy. Rest in peace.
Oh yeah.
Just doing that theme, that movie got me cracking up, bro. Because I mean, like right off the bat, after they're done getting married, I'm pretty sure are walking out the. Oh no, it's on the way into the fucking hotel, and they're not even fucking just whacks her head right, walking right into the door of the hotel. Just thinking of that
it's
movie.
Been so
Just
long
married.
Since I've seen that movie.
That movie is so funny, and I was always so nervous, like of having a wedding or a honeymoon or anything turn out like that, and thank God it didn't. Yeah. Oh my lord, be that movie is out there, but it's so much fun. I like that movie with those two.
Yeah,
because you remember like they get into shenanigans a little bit, like they go to like Paris. I remember they get
into a little bit of shit,
and then her ex actually happens to be out there too, and then like, but he also is going to the bar to watch, the Cubs game or whatever, watch a game on his honeymoon. Why aren't you with your wife on your honeymoon? I even would think that as a teenager. I'm like, why aren't you with your wife? Yeah. Screw the game, but I also wasn't big on watching games either. I'm like, have fun with your wife on the honeymoon. But they end up getting together and they have a few drinks stuff. They don't do anything. She doesn't cheat, but because he happens to walk her back to the hotel, and he's had some drinks, he flips that, and like there's just like some comedy gold in that movie.
I'll have to watch it again. It's been a real long time.
I think it's an underrated gem, an underrated film that people don't really talk about.
I was gonna say I'm not a huge fan of Ashton Kutcher, so I don't watch much of his movies. So I probably watched it once and I've completely forgotten about it.
It's a good one. He also accidentally kills her dog.
Oh shit!
Because like he's like,
I do remember that.
I forget exactly what happens, but because of
it was
him,
goofy.
He throws something out the window and the dog goes after it and dies.
Yeah, he like jumps out the window.
Yeah, and then he tries to make up a story like how he's just like, oh, he saw a pigeon, and he was like, I'm gonna get you. It's hilarious. It's such a good movie, but I don't know, just doing that wedding theme, it got me thinking of Just Married, because that movie is hilarious. Because like it's one of those movies where it starts off kind of towards the end where you see them coming back from their honeymoon where they're just like at each other and you're wondering why, and then you go back to when like they first meet, and all that stuff, and then it leads up.
I think I do remember that.
And then you see everything that happens at that, and then you see them go home, and then you lead up to that, and then he tries to win her back, which he does, of course, at the end of the movie. You have a happy movie and stuff, but it's so funny. And they're I guess or butler or whatever is at the door. They have one of those doorbell thingies, and he's like, get out of here, Tom, she don't want to talk to you no more, Tom. And then he rams the gate and he goes, Tom, ram the gate. It's such a good movie. But anyway, I'll move on from that, but I just thought of that. Just funny.
Yeah. We also have like I love that we can love the same genre but be different.
Yeah,
because he's more of a slasher
slasher horror, and you're the supernatural
and
horror.
I'm a supernatural horror all the way.
Paranormal, supernatural is all her.
I have seen every single paranormal.
Not saying that there aren't any good ones out there, because I do enjoy some supernatural paranormal.
Haunting of Cell Block 11.
Right. Yeah, I happen to work on too.
Which is funny.
Out there.
I saw that movie before I knew him. Because he was in the middle. So I've seen all of Ryan's work. I've seen all of Ryan's work both on YouTube.
She sat down and watched it all.
I did. I watched all of it.
Binged it all within like a month.
Yes. Every single boring ass vlog.
I know there's some boring content on there. It was rough in the early days. It was rough getting off the ground. We all start somewhere.
But I watched that movie because he was showing me, and I'm watching, I was like, I've seen this before, and he goes, what? Because it's a B movie, so you're not, it's an indie, so I was like, no, I'm pretty sure I saw this, and then as I was watching, I was like, yeah, I've watched this before. It was great.
Yeah, the only thing that we unfortunately didn't do while we were living out there, but we need to do some night, David is tour the penitentiary, because it was beautiful when I was filming out there. I enjoyed being out there. We were out there for like a week filming. It was awesome, but I would love to go through it again. I'd
love to walk down Death Row. I am all about that. I will go ghost hunting. I have literally been in a cemetery in the middle of the night ghost hunting. I will be there. That's my jam.
I bet you will.
Ryan's the other. He's the I'm not going in there.
I'm just more of like, I'll be more scared of what I can see than what I can't see. I know sometimes the paranormal does present itself physically, and you see stuff move and stuff like that. But I mean, like, just seeing, like, I don't know, there's just something scary about like a human being, like what makes them snap to like come at you with a knife and get you.
Tell the story about you walking down Death Row.
Oh, down Death Row, Cell Block 11. Yeah. It was I was basically what would you call it? Fast walking, almost
facing forward, would not look at either side of him.
Yeah, I had goosebumps. My hair was standing up on my skin, and I was nervous. There was something an unease about Death Row, and it wasn't just because it was Death Row. I think there was some bad people, bad juju in that place.
Good people don't end up on Death Row.
Well, of course. But I'm just saying. I mean, some very bad. So they left little their spirit or some juju behind or something, because I could feel it. It was bad.
I imagine so.
It was strong, but it probably didn't help that we was filming a paranormal movie too.
Oh yeah,
it was probably all like, they was probably really like, you want to see some paranormal?
Oh yeah. Honestly, I'm surprised more shit didn't happen on set.
Well, I told you that there was one night where they actually had real ghost hunters show up, and I stayed extra after like a 12-hour shoot, and there was like one bus that was going to stay for the people who wanted to stay for that. So I was like, there's a couple of us that stayed behind for it, but I was expecting something awesome. And at one point, like, they rolled down the hallway, like, if there's anybody down here, roll this pencil back, stuff like that. We didn't hear anything. They didn't roll the pencil back, didn't see nothing. I forget how long we was there, but we stayed there for 2 or 3 hours, maybe after shooting.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a late night, but I was expecting a little. I don't think they were. I don't think they were entertained by us, so they didn't want to entertain us, because they were just kind of like, you guys are just like, nah, we're good.
Yeah. Well, and I mean,
don't know.
I feel like it's just like being alive still. Like, I don't have to talk to you. You can't even see that I'm here. I am not going to interact with you today. I am not in the mood.
Yeah.
I am not in the mood.
If I think that there might have been a couple times where we heard like like some cell doors and stuff shut throughout the night.
Oh yeah, they were like that was I'm bored with you guys.
Because you just be sitting there and all of a sudden you just hear like a, and you're just like, all right. Like Adam Sandler says in The Longest Showers, I'm gonna go take a piss.
Yeah, no shit.
10-1. Need a 10-1 break.
So now I don't remember, but didn't you say that there might have been some paranormal activity on the
which one?
Darkness Reigns.
Oh, at the Truman.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No. Yeah. There was definitely some stuff going down there. For real.
See, I feel like that would have been the creepiest location to me. I mean, a cell block is creepy on its own, but a haunted hotel, I mean, that just gives me Super Shining
to be honest with you, I think that I wasn't paying too much attention because I'd just gotten off my foot because that was the year that I destroyed my ankle. So I was off my foot for like 8 to 10 weeks. So when I finally got back on it, I think I was just so grateful, and I was skipping around all happy, just like a ghost could have wandered right on by and been like, "What the fuck you so happy about?" And I could have been like, "What's up, buddy? I'm just walking again," you know what I mean? Or think it was just somebody like an extra on set dressed as a ghost, you know? Just, "Hey, how you doing?" You know, who knows? Who knows? I could have interacted with the ghost because there was ghost extras.
Oh, I'm sure.
I may have interacted with her. A real ghost could have been like, "Hey, watch this, guys. Watch this." And he goes out there like acting like he's gonna be an extra and makes himself appear, however they make it work. And I'm just, next thing you know, I'm like, "Oh man," you know, knowing I haven't seen this guy. "Oh, dude, their makeup looks really great." You know what I mean? And he's just like, "Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. What do you think of this?" You know, and pulls like a Beetlejuice and just like rips his skin off and just I'm like, "Whoa!"
You probably would have shit your pants.
I would be like, "The animatronics are amazing, man. I gotta talk to my boy Mike. Mike, what'd you do?" You know,
it's funny, and that's the movie that you did right before we met.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was the last movie I drank on at the rap party. Got a little intoxicated that night. And then I drank a little bit more after that, which led to me to quit drinking. And then 6 months later, I met you. It was just the timing was just perfect, because honestly, I've screwed some relationships up in the past that way. So thankfully, I didn't have that. I had a couple other things I was trying to work on as well. But thankfully, she was... the love was strong. She was strong. She was patient, and she helped me get through. She was my rock and got me through it and through some tough times. And
I have put a lot of work in you.
Yeah. Sometimes I still don't listen, but I think that's a man thing. I think there's like a loose wire in man's brains. It's like, listen to your wife or listen to the female or whatever.
No matter how many times I have been right over the years versus how many times you have been right over the years.
What can I say?
Twice. He's been right.
Give me some time.
Twice in 8 years.
You never know. Maybe by year 10, I'll finally be like, "Oh, I got it. I should listen to you all the time."
At least
except for that one time.
At least you've gotten better about it. Like,
yeah, there have been times where she's just like, "No," and I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, he'll be like, "Are you sure? Are you positive?" "Yes." "All right."
I'm not even gonna argue no more.
Yep.
It is what it is.
Well, and it's funny because like I'm literally I'm the FBI at work. If somebody needs something found, I'm the one that they ask. I am the researcher.
She's like Negan. She gonna get done.
Your mom usually around Christmas time, she'll start sending me pictures of stuff like, "Hey, investigate this website. Tell me if it's good or not."
Yeah, you just never know nowadays.
Like and you know what? I don't blame her one bit.
Back to episode 1, talking about scamming the beekeeper. The beekeeper movie. Forget scammers out there, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. And they're sending people private text messages now saying like, "Oh, you have a UPS package not delivered." And it's funny the timing on some of those, because sometimes I'm just like, bro, not only is it very obvious, but I didn't even order anything recently. So, bro, like, what are you doing?
Well, in my day
job...
But
I know that there's some people that fall for it. I do know that. I do know that.
My day job, we deal with landlords and stuff, and we get fake landlords all the time trying to post property. So I'll research the property, because certain websites will tell you the status of a place, if it's for sale or if it's for rent or for whatever. And I can typically match the landlord information versus what I've been given. And I mean, there was one that it was a $300,000 house that they were trying to put on Section 8 for $1,000 a month.
Really? Wow.
At least make it believable for one.
Right. No kidding.
For two, but I actually, just to make a long story short, I implemented, everybody sends me the landlords. I will vet the information, and then if I find it suspicious, I will ask them for proof of ownership before I will post the property. So
there you go. Get to the bottom of it.
I am the FBI in my entire world.
Yep. She knows. So
FBI, if you're hiring, I'm already doing it. So
yeah, we waiting on. We waiting on.
I'm not as good as Garcia from Criminal Minds, but I'm decent.
But yeah.
Go ahead.
What kind of movies you want to talk about? So I know I brought up Just Married, so that was already like romantic comedies right there.
Well, I was thinking
movies, whatever. You got Wedding Singer.
Maybe we should bring up movies that we've like either have shown each other or have watched together. Like, because I think the biggest movies I've shown you was Repo the Genetic Opera. Because we have similar tastes. There's not very many movies that we haven't seen.
Yeah. And she knew of Arnold Schwarzenegger before we got together, but because
I'd seen a few of his
my
movies.
Action hero. She'd seen a few of his movies, but like didn't really watch all of them or was a huge fan of like any of it. But she didn't realize like that he did actually have some range. You know what I mean? I know she saw Maggie before we met, which I know she loved.
Maggie.
And then another thing I absolutely love about her, I fell in love with, was the moment like when we were talking about Arnold, or even when I just met, I don't know if I mentioned Predator or if you brought up Predator, but the moment that I was like, what about Predator? You're like, have you seen Predator? And she was like, oh yeah, I've seen Predator. And she was like all about it, like it was good and stuff. I was like, I think that was an immediate like fall in love because let's just say that my past relationship, I showed her Predator for the first time and all I got was like it's okay. Or she was like, that's it? Or, you know, it was like one of those reactions, I forget, but it was one of the two or a mix of both. But that was, and I remember like, because I think we were watching on my laptop or something at the time and shutting that immediately. And I like shot up and I'm like, okay. It was on. So the moment when I was like, have you seen Predator? She was like, oh yeah, I've seen Predator. And I was just like, like I was just like, it was immediate, like green flag, marry this woman.
Well, we named our son after Dutch.
Yes, after Arnold's character. Dutch Predator, baby. Woo!
Well, and the story behind that is, that was my idea.
Tattoo, baby.
Yep, the tattoo was my idea.
Yeah. It was a mix.
Anyways, we were sitting there and we were talking about our future. Because I mean, you honestly, if you don't do that in relationships, don't be in a relationship, because a relationship will result in future. So you guys got to be on the same page. We had discussed either being child free or having one child.
Yeah.
So Dutch is all we are planning on.
Yeah. He's perfect.
Absolutely perfect. But we were sitting there coming up with names, and he was like, I want to name him, if it's a boy, I want to name him Arnold. I'm like, absolutely not.
There was a moment where I was thinking about it.
My first thought was football head and Arnie, and I don't know. I just was not a fan. I was not a fan. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger, don't get me wrong. The name suits him. He has grown into the name. I said, if we can come up with an Arnold Schwarzenegger character that we both like, then that would be fine. And then we were talking and we both like, it was almost like a simultaneously like Predator, Dutch.
Yep.
And if it was going to be a girl, I was actually going to name it off of one of my favorite albums by Breaking Benjamin. And it would have been Ember Elizabeth.
Which would have been beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm glad we didn't have no wedding crashers at our wedding.
I know. Honestly, our wedding was so
perfect.
Although
if Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn happened to crash our wedding.
Oh my gosh, Owen Wilson.
Pop said, wow.
One of my favorite memories of us too. We went, it was our first trip to Jefferson City together.
Just blew me away.
I did. And it was something that I didn't even think about.
So simple.
I love Owen Wilson. I love Owen Wilson. I think he is a gift. We were in this museum and we were just looking at stuff and I just go, oh wow.
Yeah.
And he just dies. Immediately starts laughing.
I said, was that an Owen Wilson wow? And she goes, yeah.
A little embarrassed at first because of the way he like stops. Because I mean, he just stops.
It was hilarious, but it was so perfect and beautiful. It was the timing of it was great because it was like she was so impressed by it that she didn't have nothing else to say but, oh wow. Give a little Wilson, oh wow. I'm just like, it was great. And because it was kind of like in a big space and it was just the two of us.
It was echo. So
it was almost like a speaker.
Yeah.
So it was instead of like, oh wow, it turned into like oh wow, wow.
Then we just start walking down the hall doing it.
Yeah, we both were just, oh wow, oh wow, oh wow, wow, oh wow, ka-chow, wow. But yeah, our love for a lot of stuff. Because I mean, we both do love a lot of things.
We really do.
The same, different, but same.
Yep.
Like a Sarkal.
Well,
go around like a Sarkal.
When it comes to fantasy, he is more of a sci-fi person, and I am a castles and Camelot type of person.
Yeah.
Bring on the dragons.
Yeah. Although I do enjoy me like a good, I mean, obviously I enjoy Terminator, so I enjoy that sci-fi. But I enjoy me a little, some Harry Potter. Enjoy me some Harry Potter.
Love Harry
Enjoy
Potter.
me some Harry Potter.
I absolutely. I love.
I'm
Harry
definitely Harry Potter over Lord of the Rings. Like, if we were to take the two big like franchise series, I just couldn't invest. I can enjoy. I don't know.
It's too difficult for me to
relate,
pick.
I can relate going to just being all like and trying to save people than going out into the wilderness.
See, I love both. I'm a huge fan of both movies. I literally could not decide. Don't ask me what my favorite is because I cannot decide.
I got her both on 4K just because I know that she
and the extended versions, and I'm so excited he's agreed to watch them, and I can't wait.
Yeah, I haven't seen the extended because I don't know why. The Lord of the Rings are long enough. I don't know because I understand you've already explained it. I understand,
I'm telling
but I
you,
don't
there's
understand.
so much. Even my sister agrees. Like, once you watch the extended versions, you cannot go back to the theatrical.
Yeah, it's what I hear. We'll find out.
It's so good. It is so good.
We'll find out.
But I love it. I love it. Don't ask me to pick.
I'm trying to think.
Let's talk about what we like to do for our honeymoon every year.
50 first dates, and I'm Drew Barrymore because I don't remember.
Are you for real?
I forget every morning.
Brian, we go to a haunted house every year for our...
I know, I was just messing with you. I was testing you to make sure you weren't an alien in
this
disguise,
last year?
because you wouldn't know.
This last year was so much fun because for any other like indie film lovers, Trick or Treat is one of my favorites. And Sam was there this year, and I was just like, "Oh, Sam, you're one of my favorites." I literally have his.
She's got a freaking sucker.
No, he gave me a Milky Way.
Oh, freaking Milky Way.
Ryan was like, "Oh, you got candy in there? Can I get some candy?" And he like told Ryan no, but
I didn't get no freaking candy.
I had said something along the lines of, "Oh, Sam, I love you."
I even told Michael Myers he was my boogeyman. All I got was a freaking fist bump. That's all I got.
But he comes up and he like taps me and he rustles his bag, and I was like, I can have some candy. I got so excited. I still have that Milky Way sitting upstairs.
No, you know what he did was he was shaking it in front of us, and I went to go reach in, and I said, "Oh, can I have some?" And that's when he pulled away. Like, so I was going for it, thinking like I thought he was offering for some candy.
No, just me.
That's some bull. But there you go. Now you got your Milky Way that payback from a long time ago, because she'll always hold it against me since I stole her Milky Way during like our first year of dating.
He says that it was sitting there for days. It was sitting there for 2.
Here we go again.
And I literally, like, the day I was like, I'm eating, I looked forward to it all freaking day.
Yeah, well, guess what? Now Sam gave you your Milky Way. Now you get your Milky Way. Now I'll be happy with your Milky Way. You got your Milky Way. Happy birthday.
You still stole a Milky Way from me.
Yeah, but I bought you many Milky Ways ever since. Okay.
You've bought me many things, but you will never live that down.
Yeah, I'll never live that one down. That one specific Milky Way.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I wanted that Milky Way so bad. It was one of the like pure caramel ones.
She came home, got excited.
I was so bummed out.
She said, "Where's my Milky Way?" I said, "I was like a deer in headlights." I said, "Huh?" She said, "My Milky Way is sitting right here." I was like, "Oh, you mean the Milky Way has been there for like a few weeks?" She's like, "No, it was there for like a day." And I said, "Oh, you mean a few days?" She said, "No, it was like 2 days, 3 days max."
He is now to the point he will not touch anything he knows is mine.
I try not to. I can't help myself. I can't help myself.
Because the day I want it's the day you've ate it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happens. But no, for real, 50 first dates.
I love 50 first dates.
We've gone on probably like 150,000 first dates. I still remember our first date after Dutch was born, because it had been like a month, or not even a month, but close to a month, because he was almost a month old. It was actually Valentine's Day, I believe, and then we saw the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
Yep, our first time getting out right before the shutdown.
We went to, was it Texas Roadhouse? We went to a steakhouse. I think it might have been Texas Roadhouse. We went somewhere. We had a nice little dinner together.
Yeah, because I think Longhorn was the year after.
Yeah, and then we saw Sonic the Hedgehog together, and then we came back home. And I believe that first year, was your mom watching? Or was it my mom?
Nope, my mom, because she was still with us.
I know my mom was the one when we went and saw Sonic 2, which might have been 2 years later or something like that. I don't know, man. They came out pretty fast.
Yeah, they did.
1 and 2, but then there's some time with 3, but that was also because of the writer strikes at the time and all that BS.
Yeah, there's so much going on.
Ugh.
But Dutch actually went and seen that one with us.
Yeah, which is really weird to think that we saw the first one when he was not even a month old. The second one, he was probably 2, maybe 2.5, between 2 and 3, something like that. And then 3, he was getting ready to turn 5, 4 going on 5. But he gets into that stuff now. And I mean, he sits,
oh my gosh,
he sat and
loved
watched the second movie over and over like crazy, because obviously you got Knuckles and Tails, more characters in it than just Sonic. But in time, he finally sat down, because I remember the first time I did it, we got a little home little theater projection at our house here in the basement. So I was trying to show him it that way, thinking maybe he'd be more invested with a bigger screen in front of him. So we did that.
Yeah.
But he wasn't really paying attention, only during the Sonic scenes.
Right.
But then in time,
oh yeah,
he's grown to love it. Now there's been nights where he would rather prefer to watch the first one, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he's in love, head over heels with the third one, because it's got Shadow, and he loves Shadow.
Ryan bought it. You bought it for him
digital
the day it came out.
It comes out in another month.
Yeah.
Finally.
And then he bought it for Dutch, because Dutch needed to watch it again.
It goes to show you how quickly this time changed, because I think when we first got together, movies were coming out. 2 weeks later, you were getting digital. Now you're getting digital like maybe a month after the movie, like 30 to 60 days, I think, is the window now. It used to be like 90 to 120 days, but the window has dropped immensely. But now it's literally within like a month it comes out digitally now, and then like a couple months after it comes out on streaming on Paramount, like Sonic 3 is now.
Yeah.
And then it takes like 3 or 4 months after the movie's been in theaters and after it dropped digitally for a movie to come out now. But back when we first got together, but when digital was first starting to be big, that's how it was. They started dropping digital like 2 weeks after. But then when they first started dropping digital first, and then the movie, like a week or 2 later, I told her, I said, this is the start. I said, watch. And then they're going to expand it. And that's what happened in time. And eventually physical is not going to be a thing, because so many movies that are just strictly for a streaming service like Paramount or HBO or Hulu or Netflix, most of them, not all of them, but most of them, probably I'd say a good 85-90% of that content does not get physical release, because it's just out there for you to stream.
Yep.
Like stuff like Stranger Things, because that was big, got physical release. Certain things like that, like I know Wednesday it got a physical release. Certain things, mostly TV shows, I think, even though Arnold Schwarzenegger's Foo Bar haven't got a physical release, but Beavis and Butthead new seasons haven't got a physical release. Paramount. Dexter New Blood thankfully did.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. You know what I mean? It just depends. But
I'm
most
ready
of the time,
for some Wednesday season 2. They still haven't dropped any information.
Yeah.
I have not heard
I'll
anything.
wait until it gets close to it, and then maybe I'll binge the first season and then watch 2 with
good.
you. I know.
I've watched it a few times. It's so good.
Yeah,
I might watch it again, because I'm sure it's going to come out later this year.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's coming out
later
this year.
They're filming it. I don't think they wrapped yet, but I know that they've been filming it. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I just can't wait to see what they do, because they did so good on the first one. I sat and watched it myself, and then I sat and watched it with my sister. So I don't know if I'll sit and watch it with her or watch it. I'll probably watch it on my own, because it's going to be hard to get together all the time.
You got me into Supernatural, because she loves Jared and
Jensen.
She loves them both.
I've been watching that show since it dropped.
Which we only got like 3, 4, or 5 seasons in.
We got to season 5.
TJ was here. He'd say, "There's that train." But we got a few seasons in, and that was right before Dutch, and it just started getting a little busy and hectic.
Yeah.
Oh, there went a light. We lost the light.
Scared me.
I knew it was coming. Because I was a little unprepared. I forgot to charge the camera battery, which hopefully it'll last. It looks like it's still on and going. All of these batteries were like only got 1 bar each. So
is that why you left the ring light on? Really?
I just want to make sure it's all good to go. You know what I mean? So now it's a little uneven.
Well, how much time do we got?
It's funny that my side went first towards the end. We got maybe 10 minutes left. It's funny that my side goes out. It's almost like, I don't know what that means. Maybe it means I'm going to die first in life.
Well, that's
and
possible.
And then how funny that'd be if that one went. I'm like, "Whoa, you're not too far behind." Who
I don't know. It might be a granny situation.
Maybe we can go Notebook style, holding hands. It'd be nice. Just be done.
Well, you better start taking better care of yourself.
What do you mean?
Mr. Energy drinks all day.
I'm drinking energy drinks all day.
Act like I drink
12 a day or 6 a day. I do not. I do not.
Oh,
3 is my max.
Let's talk about what we did for Valentine's Day this year.
Oh, where we got
so
each other
fun.
something. You described it. That was all you.
So I'd seen that like little TikTok trend, and we didn't film it. It was just something that we decided to do for us. It was something that reminds you of your partner, something that your partner might need or want, their favorite food, or their favorite snack, their favorite drink, something to do together. So we kind of changed it a little bit to just kind of go with what we wanted. But I got him one of his favorite drinks because Zoa's hard to find in anywhere.
They acting a fool this year, 2025. They must think they're hot shit now.
And he's got lots of favorite candies, but I got you the little nerd things. And Mr. Beast bars because you really like the Mr. Beast bars.
Mr. Beast, please send me some money.
And then something that honestly, I got you, both gifts could be considered things that you need / want.
Yeah.
I got you a prayer book and a Scream shirt.
Yeah.
And I think what you got me was pretty freaking cool too.
I tried, man. Dang
you
it.
did really
I messed
great.
up. There's a couple things I wanted to get you, but I couldn't get you because they didn't have it.
Yeah, no, I loved it. He bought me a coloring murder mystery book where every page is a murder mystery and you can solve it. The clues are actually like in the page, so as you're coloring, you discover clues. I thought it was so cool.
Should be a good detective, murder mystery style.
So I thought it was pretty cute. And then he got me a book light. I've been wanting a book light for a long time, and he got me a book light. So I use it kind of as a little portable lamp too, because it's bright. I like my gifts. I liked them. I thought, honestly, I was a little worried that you weren't going to get me something that I would need or want or like. Because I was like, I don't know.
You know, something we didn't talk about was
what's that?
Technically our first date, but we weren't dating yet. When I took you to see Logan because she loves Wolverine and X-Men, but Wolverine and Hugh Jackman, that's her favorite. So this being out as being advertised as the last outing and everything, we wanted to go see it. And I told her I'll take her to go see it. So it was kind of a date, but like we look back on it, it was definitely a date, but like it wasn't definitely like we didn't hold hands. We were pretending it wasn't a date, but it was a date. Yeah, for sure. I think I might have bought everything for you. Bought her snack. You did. But I was trying to be a gentleman.
And then we were still so fresh because I don't even think that we'd been. Yeah,
that movie had just come out it was early March or maybe mid or late March. It wasn't far.
So I could not cry in front of you.
Yeah, she was nervous to cry. She didn't cry.
I was a steal.
I was a man and I cry. It's a sad moment.
I was trying so hard.
And then Deadpool Wolverine just goes and retcons it.
I loved Deadpool
The more I watch it, the more I hate it.
Oh, I loved it. Why
would you do that to Logan? Why?
Chill out. It was funny.
Yeah, it was. I'm just messing.
That whole scene was so funny.
It was all Deadpool style, you know.
It was.
Deadpool,
it was so great. They wouldn't have done
it without Hugh's blessing and even the director's blessing who did Logan. Yep. They all thought it was funny. I think he even said it was funny.
Hugh Jackman thought it was hilarious.
It was great. It's Deadpool style.
So I'm honestly, as long as all parties involved were okay with it, I'm fine. I think it was funny.
But then it was April 16th when I invited her out to Jefferson City because we were having a cast and crew screening of #FilmLife, like the first screening showing of it. Even though I've already shown it to her, she still drove 2.5 hours out to sit and watch it with me and the rest and meet the cast and crew and stuff, which was awesome. She had a good time. That was the night I asked her out, and and then we went back home and we was boyfriend and girlfriend. Yep. And I think that whole way there we really vibed too because we were just rocking out to like 90s music the whole way there.
You found out
to Linkin Park, Blink-182, Evanescence,
Gorillaz,
everything, Gorillaz, all of that.
I remember whenever that song came on and I turned it up and you were like, you like Gorillaz? Yeah, I was like, I love Gorillaz.
Honestly, I mean, we learned a lot about each other within our first month and a half of just being friends, but even that 2.5 hour road trip back home together, because I took the train up because she still had a couple days to work. I went early to hang out with the boys, And then she drove down, but then she was my ride back. So that 2.5 hour drive back, we even learned a lot about each other.
It was fun.
It was, and even in these last 8 years, not saying that there's like stuff we hide from each other like in the past or anything. We know everything about each other, but I'm just saying like we could be more open or communicative any more now than ever. Like we talk. I mean, it's a good thing to have, and I mean and we still learn new things about each other in a sense. Like I don't know how to explain it.
Well, because I mean, like, we as people change and evolve all the time. I'm not the same person that.
Yeah. Well, and then and then we become parents too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Your whole. Actually, I was just talking to Eric about this because I told him, I was like, well, you're now the age that I was whenever I had Dutch. When are you thinking about having kids? Yeah, he's 29. Dang. He is 29.
Wow.
He said that they still got a lot of stuff they want to do.
Happy birthday to your brother Eric.
Yes, happy birthday.
Which I did send him a birthday text. I don't know if you did, but
of course I did. It's my baby brother.
And then the day that this drops, happy birthday to you too, Mr. TJ Adams.
Yep.
Co-host.
That's why TJ's not here.
You son of a bitch.
Okay.
I still love you, birthday boy.
But what were we talking about?
We're talking about how much we love each other.
Yeah.
And how as we grow and we evolve and we learn. We grow and we evolve and we learn and we talk.
Oh, we were talking about Eric. He said that they still had a bunch of stuff that they wanted to do, and
of course, you gotta.
But
I mean, I'm glad that I got everything out that I needed to get out, wanted to get out when I was young, and especially my 20s. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Especially I mean, I wasn't much of a partier, especially like out partying. Like I'd stay in with friends or go to their house, something like that kind of party.
Yeah.
I might have attended like maybe 5 or 6, 7 parties in my life. Like, and I don't mean like, I'm not talking like regular. I'm talking like parties, like you go clubbing type stuff.
Oh yeah. See, I was never into that. I was the going to a bonfire kind of girl and drinking
I've been
around
to a few
bonfire.
of those, man. Yeah, buddy. I'm in a few of those.
Sorry, Mom, if you're listening to this. I
got drunk and made out with somebody that everybody at school was like, ew. Because apparently she was like I didn't see people by their looks, but apparently to everybody else, she was like the ugliest chick at school. But I thought she was cool and fine and sweet. And I just was drunk, and I don't know if she took advantage or if I took advantage or what happened, but we ended up making out.
Hey, man.
Sorry.
You can be attracted to people for different things. Like, because I mean, when I
married women. It's my wife right here. Huh?
Dork.
Just saying. I'm off the market, and I've been off the market for the last 8 years, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm really off the market now because we're coming up on this October will be our third. It's going to be our third?
Our third
already?
year married.
No way. Yep. Lucky number 3. That's crazy.
Yep.
Wow.
You know what? Since it is like lucky number 3, maybe we should hit all 3 haunted houses. I know the limp isn't like amazing, but
well, what if we do that and we end up like Bruce Wayne's parents and Dutch becomes an orphan and he grows up to be a good little Dexter serial killer vigilante Batman style or Stark Defender style stuff because you decided we should hit up the one that we never go to. What if that happens?
Well, let's just try to do 3 things this year. If you're that worried about it.
Oh, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just like, well, we normally do it.
I'm fine. Well, you know what? I have always wanted to do the Limp Haunted Mansion. I've never been to that, and I've heard it's really cool.
It is what it is.
Oh, we should probably start wrapping this up.
Well, what can we say about 51st Dates?
It's a good movie. I like 51st Dates.
I'm sorry. I'm glad that we got a little intimate, but I think we left the real REEL talk out for the night.
We talked a bit about movies.
REAL real.
Yeah.
And kept it a little after dark because we spilled some beans.
Yeah.
I stepped on my beans. Louis reference for the parents out there.
One of Dutch's favorites.
I slept on my beans.
He'll just go, my beans.
My beans. Well, how about before we wrap it up here, even though we're going to go a little over as normal.
That's okay.
But let's say, what's one of maybe your favorites, like romantic movies of all time? Like it could be real romantic. It could be kind of romantic. Anything. What would you say?
Pride and the Prejudice.
I should have known Pride and the Prejudice.
Pride and the Prejudice is my favorite romantic movie and book. I have read the book. I'm a big book person. I have lots of books. I have books on all sorts of platforms. What about yours? What's your favorite romance movie?
Man, that's so tough.
There's a lot of good ones.
P.S.
I Love You is a quick second.
I always like it, whenever, Arnold, gets the girl. I like when he gets the girl.
I don't think any of his movies could really be classified as romantic, though.
Yeah, you're right. Man, it's gonna make me a bad man.
What?
Dalton's answer: The Human Centipede. That's so romantic. No, I'm just kidding.
What's your favorite romantic movie?
I really did definitely maybe with Ryan Reynolds, but please don't judge me. I just think it's really well done. I love Brokeback Mountain. It's a good movie.
It's a good movie. It was very well done.
Well done. It's really well done.
It shows like a darker side of what falling in love can do for you,
especially back in the day.
Yeah.
But I mean, also it doesn't help that they was, married to women like under the skies a little bit of like having a family to have that other relationship. But anyway, I don't know. It's so hard to say. I mean, even I know you don't like Titanic for as sad it is. Titanic, it's really well done. James Cameron did a really good job of taking something. I mean, like I know that like I'm not saying like he didn't like do
a tragedy.
Yeah, he didn't do it in like a. He wasn't
he did it very well.
It's just to add that extra love story in there to have that to just have more of a dynamic and for.
I wouldn't say that I don't like it.
It's a good romantic movie too.
Because it's a great movie. It's a great movie. I love the movie. I just can't watch it. I can't do sad stuff. He had to trick me
on Bridge to Terabithia.
He tricked me in Bridge to Terabithia. I was like, oh, what's this about? Because I hadn't seen it, and he was like, oh, it's just, these kids playing and da-da-da-da-da. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, then the part happens. And I just remember looking at him and just being like,
But no, I was going to agree with you too on P.S. I Love You. I thought that was actually really, for me being a man and watching a movie like that. And I didn't see that with a girl. I didn't go to theater. I watched that when it came out on DVD. And I rented it, but I watched that by myself as a single man. And I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was really well done.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Whole ass.
Yeah, he's a handsome man. I wish he was as big as he was in Watchmen, and he was Negan, but he was also on another show, which is why he couldn't shave his beard. He was on the Good Wife. I don't know why.
He still brought something to Negan.
Yeah, no, he still did, and he still shaved eventually at one point for like a little Negan comic book reference, which was fun. And he was always at the fact that I need to shave this. But no, I enjoy those movies. Big Daddy hits home now differently now being a dad. That's a fun movie to watch.
Certain books that I used to enjoy hit different being a
parent whenever, because it's funny because when you're watching some of these movies as a kid, you're watching it as a kid's perspective, even though like you still relate to the parent or the adult or whoever's the main character because that's who you're following. But you're still relate as the kid from the kid's perspective because you only see the world through the kid's eyes. But then when you get older and you become a parent, you've also the world has changed a little bit because you see more of how the world works and how people interact with you and this and that and how things change. And you see it through their eyes and it hits differently.
It's so different,
especially just when there's like big moments, just like heartbreaking moments.
Yeah.
Like especially like a quiet one or a quiet place when the father sacrifices himself. That as a dad is something that I would do to protect my family.
Oh my God,
so I sense that and can relate to that. But then I also feel the heartbreak that the kids are going through because I now have a kid. I'm like, he would have to, that would be him. You know what I mean? And it was just, I don't know. Even I showed you, since she was an Owen Wilson fan, she brought this up earlier, that one movie that we watched.
Escape Plan?
Escape Plan. I showed her that because I was like, you never seen Escape Plan? I said it was like one of
Owen
Wilson's most serious roles.
Oh my God. It's like if you haven't seen it, it's amazing.
He's like in a he works in like the political world and they happen to be like overseas or something like that. And there happens to be like a terrorist attack on them in that city in that country, and his family happens to be there with him, and he's got to get his family out of there, and you see what a father would do to go through to protect his kids and his wife.
Man,
and it's so, and but
I showed,
but I'm pretty sure I showed that to you before we had Dutch. So if we rewatched, I haven't seen it since we've had Dutch. I don't know if I could watch it. If we were to rewatch it now to see what they'd go through, man, it's tough. And, I mean, same with when we watched the 3 Billboards Ebbing, Missouri movie. Because I could not watch that now. We watched that
way before Dutch.
Yeah, we watched that way. That's right. Yeah, that's right. We did watch that way before Dutch. Yeah, that'd be tough to watch now.
It was tough to watch.
It's still in the plastic.
It was tough to watch it. We rented it, and it's a good movie. It's a good movie, but it is hard to watch.
It is.
It's basically about this mother who's trying to get her daughter's murder solved, and it is because
it's a true story, but it also happens all the time, every single day, all around the world.
Well, it's loosely based on a true story, but it was so hard. We bought it because we wanted to support the film, but it's still in its package, and that movie came out in like 2018.
Yes.
So
I think everything's still going.
Yeah, I think everything's still going except for that light,
which will turn back on for you video followers for this one last little bit. And all you audio listeners, thank you for listening on Spotify. Check us out on Rumble and on Facebook and on YouTube and on OnlyFans.
Last thing I want to talk about real quick was our Buffy experience.
Yes.
So
rest in peace, Michelle Trachtenberg.
Yes.
I also read, before you get too far into it, I read that she was apparently in talks for the reboot with Sarah Michelle Gellar. Like she was going to be coming back. Like they would bring, I guess they're trying to bring everybody back.
Oh man.
So
that's a shame that we're not.
Now she's actually going to have to disappear for real, Sarah.
I hope they just do it respectfully.
Her and her mom tricked me.
Oh my God. So
you guys spoke it into existence.
So me and my mom, I grew up with it. My mom, I have a lot of the same interests as my mom. I was raised on Star Wars, on all sorts of different things, because my mom was a big nerd. So Buffy was something that we both enjoyed a lot, and we sat and watched it together. Well, I think me and you started dating towards the end of the series. So, and I was coming home talking about it. Well, we decided to start over so that Ryan can come in.
Yeah, because I wanted to watch it.
And me and my mom had made the decision, I mean, months before it was going to happen, to trick him to think that Dawn was around the whole time. And he believed it.
She didn't show up till 5. Right?
Yeah, she shows up in season 5. Season 5 is my favorite season. All seasons are great, but season 5 is my favorite season.
But how many episodes was there in a season again? And they're like, was there 12 or 18 or 20?
22, I think.
So you got to think at this point, 4 seasons in, 22 episodes per season. I'd gotten nearly 100 episodes in at that point. So that was easily like, okay, I guess she could have slipped. I guess because they were even like, she wasn't like a main character. She didn't really have a lot of speaking lines. She was just kind of in the background. I'm like, that's just so weird. You have a sister. Like, I don't know. And I'm good with names. I'm good with faces. So I know who Michelle was. I grew up on Inspector Gadget, Harriet, Spy, all that stuff. Like I grew up on her. I knew who she was.
We had him convinced she'd been around until it was revealed that she was the key.
She just shows up in 5. And I'm like, I even said, like, I think as soon as she saw, I even looked, I said, hold on. I think they even paused it. And I said, wait, Buffy had a sister?
Well, no, because it happened at the end of season 4 is where Dawn makes her first appearance.
Yeah. Well,
and then it cuts.
Yeah, but I just mean, like, regardless, still seeing her.
Yeah.
That's whenever I was so confused because when because they're talking like everything like she's been around, and I had to be like, hold up. I said, who is this? Buffy's sister. So where's she been? Why? I said, I know who that is. When? Where? How? I was asking all like 100 questions.
Well, because he had never watched it because he thought it was a girls' show. And I'll never forget, like I kept telling him, you were going to love Spike. You were going to love Spike. Whenever Spike first shows up in season 2, he's like, why in the fuck would you like this guy?
Yeah, she's like, he's going to grow to love him.
You were going to love him.
Yeah, he's going to grow on you. He's going to grow on you.
And then by the time he does, Ryan's like, okay, I see it.
I said, bull.
Did not believe me. But yep. I think I'm one of the few people, but I hated Angel's character.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of him.
I did not care for him. Nothing against David himself.
He was just a funky hunky.
He was just so angsty.
Yeah.
And
I just want you, Buffy. I
And it's funny because even as a teenager, I was never into the angel trope. I was a big Spike. Whenever Spike and Buffy finally got to banging, I was like, well, because I don't want to say together because they were never in a relationship. They were just in a different type.
He got in the holy hole.
And
which is what Daddy's getting ready to do when we close this podcast out. Just kidding, guys. Just kidding. Hey, just kidding. What are you talking about? I could be talking about my mouth hole stuffing cookies down it.
He probably will. He did just buy a big old package. Yeah. And every time he buys a family package and then he doesn't save any for the family.
But I do got something that I can stuff down your throat. Oh!
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't get I didn't get a little after dark there, after dark, but anyway. Because we got to talk about romance films, favorite romantic movies, and then all of a sudden I'm just talking about my dick.
That doesn't surprise me.
Was that from Wanderlust with Paul Rudd, right? Is it Wanderlust? I forget what movie it is, but y'all know it. Y'all know it. He's become a gif and a meme. Talk about their dick. Give you a piece of my dick. I'm going to pop off a piece of my dick.
Okay, let's end it. Because now we're going down to the other rabbit hole.
You want to take it? You going to take that dick? You going to take that dick? Take it. Take it. Take that. Pillow talk. After talk. Spread those cheeks. Spread those cheeks. What? Spread those cheeks.
Okay.
Spread those cheeks. Slap in the ass.